Okay, all right, let's get it going then. Nice. Well, first of all, before anything else, anybody that's going to be participating Thursday, which is when we're going to be trying our eating and tasting mindfully practice, I just a little suggestion. Remember to have some kind of little food to nibble with or check out. I would say something boring that you take for granted is good, and something you can kind of easily touch. So that nice cheesecake might not be the best option. But something you can eat right away too. So like if you had to peel an orange, but if you just want to use a glass of water, that'll work. So that's my little preach for for this Thursday's class, and let's get started. So today's practice is going to be about listening and about sound. And so I'm just going to start with a saying by a Zen master that it's easy to meditate when you're in a perfectly silent room and it's perfectly dark, and it's no big deal. The hard part is to be able to meditate at the side of a busy street. And when we try to meditate, a lot of times, okay, I'm going to move so the sun isn't hitting me in the eyes. Situation isn't always going to be perfect, and that's okay. That's that learning to focus that we're working on when we are practicing our yoga, or our meditation rather. Yoga too, but meditation. So let's start first with a little bit about sound and its effect on our body. And actually, in the last, just a few months ago, I read some research that humming actually helps you relax. That's probably why some of us just kind of, when we're busy puttering around or working, we hum to ourselves. And the other thing that it made me think about was the syllable om. It's kind of become a crazy meme sometimes, but it's used in a lot of Eastern meditation practice. It's not really a word that would be used in a conversation or in a sentence. It's a syllable, and it's got 5 parts to it technically. This is the way I was taught about it. And it's kind of interesting because that 4th part of the sound is a humming sound. And I'm going to make the little sound here for you, and then you can kind of hear how it goes. Not that we're going to be using it, but just see another example of humming. So it's so that 4th part, that 4th sound is you actually make a humming M sound. And then the 5th part is silence, which I think is just great because it's just as important. It's like music where that, the rests, the silent parts are as important as the musical notes. So a little bit, again, about, I think that's probably part of what makes repeating that maybe a relaxing thing and a meditation thing is that humming. But for today, we're going to do a fun practice, at least a lot of people enjoy it. And it's called bee breath, as in little humming bees. A little word about doing breath work. A lot of times when we're doing the breathing exercises, we breathe deeper than we normally would. And so what can happen is you can actually blow off. I was a respiratory therapist for 15 years, so I get kind of technical with the breathing stuff. But you exhale more carbon dioxide than you normally would, and that can make you lightheaded. It can even give you kind of a tingling sensation in your fingers. And if we're ever doing any of these breathing exercises and you start getting a little too lightheaded, I think that's actually some of the meditation influences that lightheadedness you get. But if it gets to be too much, stop. Just come back to your regular breathing. If you have to, even just, put your head down for a minute. We don't want anybody fainting. That's all I got to say. So just be cautious anytime you're doing breathing exercises. But the bee breath it's called Bremari breathing. And the Bremari is a black bee in India. Apparently there's some like goddess of the bees too. But I looked it up on Google and it's really beautiful. It's got this shiny black body. You know, bees are often fuzzy. This one's like shiny, just a hard shell. And then these beautiful wings that are like a blue-green color. Very, very lovely big bee. So we're going to make bee sounds. And kids love doing this one. If you want to do something with children, this is a great one. It's easy for them and it is relaxing. Supposedly, even just 30 seconds of doing this humming can relax you. And then they'll talk about doing it 3 to 5 minutes. For me, that's a little long. But, you know, hey, everybody's got the thing that's good for them. And some things are not as, you know, a little more challenging or maybe. So we're going to do a little bee breathing. So the first thing you want to remember is you're going to keep your teeth slightly apart. You can even let your tongue just kind of rest maybe behind your teeth. It's just soft. So you don't want to clench your jaw and you just let your lips close. And we're just going to exhale and hum. So we're going to do that belly breathing like we did yesterday's class, where your belly comes out as you inhale and comes back in towards your spine as you exhale. You can close your eyes and you're going to inhale through your nose and exhale. And if you can't use your nose because you're blocked up with the sinuses, breathe through your mouth. I don't care. You got to breathe. So here we go. So we're going to inhale. And now we can stop for a moment. I'll give you a couple extra details. I don't know, maybe take a moment, see if you feel a little different from just that humming breath. Again, you know, everybody's a little different, but if you like doing this one, it could be a fun one for you to try and add to your practice. If you want to get a little more advanced with it, you can block your ears. Now, you don't want to stick your finger in your ear. You want to kind of rest your finger on that little piece of cartilage just to the front of your ear and gently just sort of press it against the opening. And if you do that, it'll resonate even more in your head when you're doing that humming. When you get really proficient at it, you can also hum as you're inhaling. That's hard to do. Just trust me. I'm not very good at it. I have to like kind of do the exhaling one before I try the inhale. And it actually kind of, you feel it vibrate at the back of your mouth, up in the top of the roof of the mouth in what's called the soft palate, that kind of softer area behind the hard part at the roof of your mouth. And I'll just do a quickie so you can hear what it sounds like. And we'll go move on. So you would go, As I said, it's a little more complicated. Don't feel you got to do that one. But if you want to get, if you like it, you want to work on that part, go for it. So the next thing that we're going to do is a listening practice. So for this one, just get comfortable. You could sit in a chair if you want to stretch out. Laying down, that's fine, or sitting on the floor like I am. But we're going to start again with our belly breathing. You're just going to breathe nice and easy here, though. You're not going to go out crazy, but we're going to listen. And so I want you to focus on what I'm asking for you to listen for. And depending on the building you're in, this may be a little easier or harder. But the first thing we're going to do is just start to gently breathe. You can close your eyes. And I want you to listen for the teeniest, tiniest sound you can detect outdoors. So, it might be a motorcycle going by, or an airplane, or a bird. So just move from sound to sound. So if you hear a tiny sound outside, acknowledge you've heard it, let it go, and move to the next sound. And now I want you to listen for any sound you hear inside the building you're at, but not in the room you're sitting in. And again, you're going to move just lightly from sound to sound, looking and listening for the teeniest, tiniest sounds you can hear. And now I want you to listen for any sounds inside this room you're sitting in. So again, just moving lightly from sound to sound. It could be a tiny creak in the floor, just listening for the little sound. And now I want you to listen to the sound of your own breath. So going inward, listening for that sound of the flow of the air in and out of your body. Maybe you're hearing it up by your nose, down in your chest, just focusing lightly on that sound. Now, just gently begin to bring your awareness back into your body. Just start to feel those sensations that may have been created by that moment of quiet, of inwardness. Just kind of maybe just notice sensations in your body, in your mind, just kind of allowing yourself to spend a moment just kind of enjoying that quiet that you've given yourself. And I hope at some point maybe you could try either of these techniques to kind of work on getting used to using your other senses for meditation. So again, chanting has been been part of meditation, and I really think it's that sound thing that happens. But bring it to your practice. If you really hated the things we did today, we got more stuff coming for later in the week. You'll find something that works for you. Remember to have your little something to try to eat on Thursday. We're going to do our mindful relationship with food for our Thursday meditation practice. And thank you for joining me.